I don't know what that trajectory is. But that's okay. Storyboarding, but you're no one talking, and the storyboard artists are sketching quick. That would be so fun! Oh my freaking goodness, I would love to do that. But, but I mean, how's that? But how is, I don't want to say, like, how is that a thing? Like, like, let's say if I asked everyone in here, like, okay, I can't, my beloveds, I cannot even remember the last thing we were talking about that had an imaginary story going with it. But if I told all of you, like, hey, so, this thing's gonna, I don't know, I'm not good at hypotheticals in a way, but just, I feel like there are many people, not just in this world, but in this group that would be excellent at that. Just like the. Eric says, before the storyboards get made, definitely people are talking things out. And so I'm trying to think of like a way to explain this. Because, like, okay, beloveds will be like, hang on. I'm trying to remember what imaginary story I was spinning last, and I literally have already forgotten every word I said. Like, I don't even remember what it was. Oh, there we go. There we go. There, and I remember it. Okay. And so I'm going to go and, like, in the ceramic studio, and they'll be like, oh, well, you never know how it'll turn out. And then I'll put it on the wheel. I'll be like, I can. And then somebody will play, like, a song and be like, this song always helps me. And this is, by the way, this wasn't the story earlier. This is just the new story I invented just now. And then I do it based on that person's song, and then it goes on the cover of their album. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. I. Mm. This, but if I asked I just feel like if I asked everyone here, like, okay, here's our imaginary ridiculous scenario where our young insecure artist has gone to visit Ari in the big city, and like like what does your brain say next? I guess that's my question, is if I told you at the beginning of that story, what would your brain say is the next thing that happens in this story? Jessica says, I know, right, Ari? She does draw really well and brainstorm. I, I thought you were talking about Ari. And I was like, she does draw well. Like, of course she draws really well. Did you see the pictures she drew of the people in that meeting? Like, Ari, my beloved, I know those weren't like, sketches you spent hours on or something, but just your ability to look at someone and then sketch a little picture of like the important shapes of their face and their hair. Oh my good geep gorp. That to me is fucking amazing. I love that. But I'm glad, I don't know. So if I say that to y'all, basically, here's the little story opening, like, shy person is like, I'm not an artist. I don't know. And then they go and visit, like, super cool Ari in the city. And she's like, yeah, that's right. I am art-tastic at all art times. And then she loans you her cool sunglasses, and you know what I mean? Because we could totally combine our powers and make a story. We need a note taker for bees and then fast sketches for storyboards. Wessex and I can do the renders. We got a comic. Wessex says, "Oh yes, we do." Holy crap! See, I. But do we like I? But does. But okay, so beloveds, if I say like to you like, oh, and then the our shy artist goes here and does this, what does your brain say is next? Right, so they can be short one-shot comics. I can't even imagine. Okay, holy crap, emolies, y'all! I this sounds like the wildly fucking funnest thing ever. Like that sounds amazing, but I wouldn't even know how to frame a one-shot comic if, well, and see, once again, I'm a logistics person. Like Stina said earlier, she's not the logistics person because it's part of it's just me, and part of it's because of what I do for a living, where I like logistics boss would probably be one of the more accurate descriptors for what I do, because it's not that I decide who gets to do what or something. That's not my jam. Other people are doing that. Not even on my jam. That's not my role. Other people are doing that. I am there for logistics to make sure that things can run smoothly. Harry says, or a kid's book, illustrated book, and we work our way up to a comic. This is just okay. I, part of me also like kind of feels like I should like cartoon style, like dig like a little coffin shaped Genevieve size hole, and then like lay myself in it. Cause I'm like, who? In what universe would someone want my ridiculous ramblings as a story? None of them make any sense. But they also do in a way, but not because I wrote them, but just because that's how stories make sense. You know? Right? It falls together like a puzzle. The next puzzle piece, you're like, oh, it's got to fit in like this. Oh, then it's going like that. Oh, I see it. There we go. But honestly, the idea of like a comic book where I could help with ideas but did not have to draw anything, that does sound fun. Okay, so let's do it, a group collab. And mostly, okay, I really love this actually. Like, just, let me show you the weird comic I read about someone that flooded a bathroom when they had a sleepover at someone's house. And see, one, yes. And I also have, like, lots of anecdotes, but not just things that have happened to me because I am the local Genevieve. And, like, okay, I didn't even think about this. And Aries says, that was a wild ride. So things happen to me because of who I am. And that is, by that I mean, beloveds might remember, like a month ago now, I met a lady in Ross, like the store Ross Dress for Less, and I was going to buy some shoes, but they weren't the color that I wanted. And it turns out the lady I met in Ross had the shoes that I wanted, but in the color I wanted, in the trunk of her car. and she gave me 2 pairs of shoes. And so I give out gnomes for funsies, and I didn't happen to have any gnomes. So instead, I was like, oh my gosh, do you want me to make you something? I do this on the regular. Here's my work email if you ever want to contact. Like giving her space, like, not give me her info. But no, it turns out that she did. I showed her the pictures of something I made, and she was like, have you ever made a ladybug? And I was like, yeah, I can totally do that. And so then I made 2 ladybugs for the lady I met in the Ross, who then gave me 2 pairs of shoes in the Ross parking lot. And that's just my everyday life. Like, that stuff just happens to me. And that's not a complaint in any way. That's just... that is my life. But seriously, I love the idea of doing, like, group collab comic. You know? And Russ says, I love the carrot gnomes. Seriously, I love them too. They're so precious. Ooh! 9:45 already. That is actually a wonderful reminder for me. Because I was thinking... because, y'all, I love my job. I love what I do for a living. Seriously. It has also just been a long week for me at work. And everyone says, they're adorable. Thank you, beloved. But so as my own personal physician, I heard a rumor that Dr. Benavieve recommended the application of chicken taquitos and possibly more Mexican rice. I mean, we can't know until we eat more Mexican rice and see how we feel about it. But no, we've had a lovely stream. Ari says, I had my class of 2 students today. We totally bonded over Pokemon. Oh, I love that. See, okay. Ari, my honey pie. I am sending you those balls. Like, they're literally already in the mail. You could totally make with them a diorama. Like, have each of them make, like, a little mini diorama. That's, like, ball. Like this. And then ball, like, an open top. You know? And then have, like, grass or whatever. And have their own, like, version of a Pokemon. And you could totally add the little Latcherdoo type thing. And it's red and white with the black double circle on the fronts. Like, having those balls, like, the balls I'm sending you, you could absolutely do Pokemon dioramas with those kids for your 2-kid class. Well, I don't know what the focus is for that class. Maybe it's like, painting and fine art. That's probably not the... He says, I can find a way to apply it to painting. Like, literally, there we go. Like, and so maybe the kids could paint the ads. I don't know. I will leave that up to you, beloved. But, and even if it's just like, not the main project, but just like, a thing. They can paint the outside with... Ooh, they could paint the outside with a scene from that Pokemon. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a little vignette. Pokemon cutouts, like a pop-up book. Ooh! I love that you already have more ideas. You're like, no. Okay, I love that. art teacher you. Ooh, and okay, remember, speaking of, like, not ridiculous storylines, but just storylines that, like, sometimes we talk about. At one point, Hope, Unpredictable Artist, we had a whole story for them where there was, like, a series of, like, murders in a small town that they were living in the Northeast. And then, oh, that's what it was. It was that Unpredictable's character then had a romance with the local police chief. So, but yes, we like to make up not exciting. We like to make up ridiculous stories for our beloveds. Okay. Sweet Angel Boobalas. I really like our 4 dirty carrot gnomes. Those are so stinking cute. The dirt, the dust on them that's the absolute touch they needed. We love those. So, do we have a beloved into whom we would like to raid? I don't know who is on right now. Veggie says, sorry. Rustic says, Veggie is crafting and 9.5 is chatting. Harry says, they could. And Rustic says, I don't have a friend they want to recommend? Yes, if somebody has a friend and to whom that they're like, no, we should write into so-and-so, fine by me. But if nobody has a specific idea, I vote, yeah, Veggie sounds great. We just rated into them recently. Veggie is very sweet. And you've all heard this, I think. My favorite story about Veggie is that when the first time I rated them to them, somebody was like, Veggie is spinning. And I was like, cool. Because I thought they meant, like, spinning records, like DJing. And I was like, hey, and their name was Veggie Zombie. And I was like, that's great. Sure, we'll raid right into them. And then, no. Not that I mind that they weren't spinning records, but they were actually spinning yarn. Which makes a lot more sense for our community. The rest says, I do enjoy a Veggie stream. I support that strongly. Let us jump into our beloved friend Veggie stream. And also, hello, how appropriate is it that we just made veggies? We just made little carrots. So, yes, we're getting ready to raid into Veggie. We love this sounds bad, we love our dirty little carrots. The dirtiest little carrots. We love them so much. And thank you to everyone for being here. Thank you to our mods, without whom none of this works. And also thank you to my beloved Mr. Dirty Blood for cashing in a finished project stream, because yeah, he knows we need one. Harry says, hearts eyeball. Love you, beloved. See you in the raid. Oh, Fairy One says, blood of corpse. Love you too, baby.